Hey everybody, welcome back to the program. Today we have a special guest, Mikkel McCurdy, my sister, hopping on, usually behind the tech, and we have a short conversation, but a good one. So a little bit shorter today. We'll be back with full-length podcast episodes just real soon. But check this one out. Hope you enjoy. All right, well, welcome, Kel, to the podcast. I don't know if we've ever had you on. You've worked the back a little bit. You've worked the tech side. I think we did an episode once, and then you had to pull it down because you didn't want to get fired from your job.
Well,
but you're being let go, so it doesn't really matter anymore.
yeah, unfortunately.
So now,
Not because I'm a bad worker.
now, why are you breaking the third wall? Now that now that you are living the free life, and
Almost.
you are not almost. Now that you have no fear of being let go, and you probably won't return.
Yeah.
You are now free to speak.
Yeah, although I don't... almost free.
Yeah, almost free. You're
I'm not
able.
going to let... They might come after me.
They actually end you a couple weeks early.
They're like, we saw that podcast.
You're like, that's honestly a win.
You're actually not getting paid for the rest of the time you're here. No.
So you were saying that you, the world can burn. Life is
Okay, why
irritating.
you make me sound so emo?
I'm just kidding. But go ahead. Share. It's your chance to share your thoughts.
Oh, that's a lot of responsibility, which is actually what we want to talk about,
Hey,
isn't it?
let me ask you this. What's missing, as a young adult in the world right now?
Single young adults.
Yeah, single young adult.
Tough out here, for real.
Yeah, because I feel like the dating world just keeps on getting more and more different. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's definitely...
It's evolving.
I think it's very different from when, our parents or grandparents were dating.
For sure.
And so, whenever they give advice, you're like, that's nice and all, but, it's not the same.
Why is it different, though? Because, there's a bit of an age gap here, and I think a lot's
Your freaking unk status.
Yeah. I think a lot's transpired or changed since even when I was dating,
Yeah, I think
in high school, or people my age.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's definitely the evolution of, social media and dating apps and, expectations for people, for sure.
Right.
Because, and I think this goes for both men and women. I think women and men, there's a lot of the grass is always greener and perfectionism of other people. You're like, well, I didn't like this one thing, so I'm moving on.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, no one's perfect. You're not perfect yourself. So you can't expect someone that you're dating to be perfect.
Right.
When you're not perfect, too. So I think there's a lot of lack of understanding and compassion for where people are at. But also I think it's very vast of why people aren't, dating.
Sure.
And, why things aren't working out between people. But
Do you think that social media has skewed the landscape as far as, you mentioned that people aren't as compassionate, but do you think it's changed the environment as far as how young adults or people in general communicate with each other, or even how they view each other?
yeah, I think for communication, at least, very much so, a lot of people, they just do text. There's a lot of relationships where it's just text or just online. And there's not a lot of face-to-face, and I think face-to-face is way different and very, very important, because if you do end up together, you're always, you're in person together.
Right.
And I think a lot of it comes down to, people are scared to go out and, put themselves out there.
Why? Did you think it'd be more connected? Embarrassment
And
of-
rejection.
Okay.
But I think...
Yeah, but
Because, when you get rejected, you get embarrassed. And, people don't want to be embarrassed or rejected or, not chosen. And so I think those fears... And I think also social media has not helped because, you go out and they're like, oh, well, you go ask this person out, and then you see a bad reaction. You're like, oh, I don't want that to happen to me, so, I'm not going to do that. And so it just kind of gets,
I've wondered a lot, too, because if you go back 30 years ago or whatever, before social media, before technology really boomed off.
Yeah.
You could live in a town with, let's take our parents or our grandparents or whatever. You could live in a town where maybe it's, and I think cities and towns have gotten bigger too.
Oh yeah.
But you live in a town, and if you met someone in that town, even if you didn't necessarily, know everything about them, you could trust that for the most part they probably came from a similar background, had similar upbringing. Granted, if you met someone from a different place, maybe this is different, but you could trust that they had similar upbringing, similar background, maybe went to the same school, maybe had the same friends, maybe had some commonality. But now I think with so much access to technology and knowledge and media, you could sit across from someone, maybe go to the same school, have a similar community of friends, have a similar upbringing, but the voices that you're receiving or the noise that you're hearing, the people who influence you could be totally different.
Yeah.
So you could be watching people online who are changing or warping the way you think and believe.
Yeah.
And it could be totally different than the person living just across the street from you. And I think that makes a total difference on how people get along, how they communicate, how they see the world. And that, I don't know if it's dividing, but I think it makes it hard to find sometimes commonality with people you're trying to date.
For sure. I think, because usually I think what you're trying to say, like, what I'm understanding is that when you would live, like, near somebody, you could usually, for the most part, agree on most things. Now it's like if you...
Yeah, a common ground at least.
Yeah, you could find common ground. Like, you may not agree on everything, but there's, like, since you grew up in a similar place, you had similar experiences, so you could, like, relate to each other.
Right.
Now there's so many different opportunities and so many different avenues.
Or even issues that maybe weren't as common. The battery just died on that one.
Well, frick.
We could just go to one for now. Here, turn that one off. Yeah, that's fine. We'll make that work.
Okay.
Anyways, as I was saying, you didn't, what were we talking about? Oh,
similarities.
Yeah, I think there's even issues or topics that come up nowadays that are now that you wouldn't even maybe have thought about or been exposed to. For example, were our grandparents talking about abortion rights?
No.
Probably not.
No.
And that can be
definitely a lot more exposure to things.
And whether you agree with that topic or not, abortion rights, let's not get too heavy into that, but whether you agree on that or not,
right.
That's something that can be a very dividing topic depending on your belief in a relationship.
And I think nowadays there's a lot of, like, going back to the compassion, there's not a lot of compassion for if people disagree on things. It's like, if you don't believe this way, then we can't be associated.
Right, you're not...
A lot of division in if
Sure.
you don't believe the same thing I do.
But don't you think that's fueled also by some of this, this environment, this environment that where we don't really communicate about things, but we look for the differences and not the commonality.
Yeah, and I think, and once again, with media, it's blown up.
Sure.
And so it's like, they'll try and make... If you believe this way, then you're evil or you're the enemy or something like that. And it's like, okay, but I'm just a normal person just like you.
Sure.
Like, we're all just people living and we have different opinions about something. It doesn't really make us that different.
Totally.
Because if you really get down to it and you don't really get into those principles or beliefs that necessarily make people divide, then you can find a lot of common ground.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think it definitely makes it trickier. Yeah. But also, I think people aren't communicating as much.
No. People are scared to, like, communicate a little bit.
Mm.
I don't know why that is. I think at least since, like, COVID, talking to people has been, like, weird. Not, like, I don't struggle with talking to people, but, like, when you talk to some people, you can tell, like, it's, like, awkward. It's just, like, socially awkward.
Yeah, do you think it's... I was reading this thing how, in today's society, a lot of families are having to work multiple income jobs, so multiple income household, right? Parents are away from the home. And so, not that that's a bad thing necessarily, I think a lot of times it's a necessity, but are young people, teenagers, maybe a little younger, are they learning the lessons? Are they being taught or forced to go do some of those things that push them to be okay to
Yeah,
talk.
it's like a little
And
bit hard, but
yeah,
it's
like
good for them.
yeah, because those are things you can be exposed to early on. Makes it a lot
Yeah.
easier as you get older. But the older you get, the
Yeah,
harder
I think also like,
it can become.
no offense, but this whole gentle parenting stuff does not help.
Oh, okay.
Cause like cause I'll say like a lot of kids nowadays, at least younger, and even some my age, they just lack respect for like people.
Interesting.
They think it's funny to like just inconvenience and be rude, and it's like you're just kind of annoying. And it's like some people, not that I condone spanking or like abuse, but sometimes a smack upside the head might be a little helpful.
Okay.
Sometimes where it's like, okay, that's not what you're supposed to do. Like that's not what we do here. That's not how you act.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much accountability there is. That's the
No,
real
there's,
question.
like,
Because
no accountability for actions.
yeah, and not that you can't talk to the people, the kids you're raising, but do they feel like they're held accountable to anything?
Right, and
Right?
also this whole thing of like, well, why did you act this way? Like, why did you feel that you could, like, it doesn't matter how you feel, because you can feel a lot of ways, but you shouldn't act on those feelings.
Mm.
And there's like,
So what do you do? I guess is the real question. Right?
I mean, feelings.
Coming from someone who's not a parent.
Yeah, someone who doesn't have any children. But
Yeah.
no, I think you can validate someone's feelings, but you can still be like, okay, you can feel that way, but you shouldn't act that way.
Right.
You can't just like condone someone's actions just because they felt a certain way. Like just because like there's a murderer and he's like, well, I just like to kill. Okay, but you can't kill just because you like to.
Right.
You're still gonna be punished for that action. That's how it should be. You should be treated. Like just because you feel a certain way shouldn't mean you should act a certain way.
Right.
So that's what I don't like.
Well, I mean,
It's like, well, I felt like I should have done it, so it's okay if I do. And it's like, no.
there definitely seems to be an uptick in society of people feeling they can do things without consequence, penalty,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly where that stems from.
The whole like, oh, it's my truth. Girl, there's only one truth, and like yours is not it.
Yeah, I think people are. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think there's a lot of accountability.
Mm-hmm. And like,
You can get away with a lot of stuff.
yeah, and a lot of it, like at least for younger kids, it's like the whole thing is like, I don't want to give my kid trauma. And you're like, okay, but like your kid's traumatizing me though, like.
Yeah, but I mean, even just in regular society.
Oh yeah, it's been an uptick in like I feel like every generation. Like I feel like a lot of people like.
Do you think that's because people see things online and they think that
I think
it's
so,
just
a little
okay,
bit, but also
or-
I think people are kind of getting tired. I mean, because even like I don't know, I feel like people are just getting tired of having to like act right, because like I feel like there's some people feel like, oh well, I feel like nothing's right anymore. It's like if I do this way, then someone has a problem with this, or if I do it this way, someone has a problem with that. So I'm just gonna do whatever I want because I don't care anymore.
Right.
So I think there's some of that for sure.
Yeah,
It's very, you could definitely have a lot of reasons for why something is the way that it is.
Right. I was reading one thing the other day, and I was actually talking to David,
Mm-hmm.
and he's talking about at ASU, nearby where we're at.
Right.
There's a big sleep around culture.
Oh yeah, hookup culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's literally detrimental to dating.
Yeah. I mean, you want to give more detail to that? Why you think that?
Because like if you're just getting with them to just sleep with them and then you're done, then it's like okay.
Yeah.
But like
I think
just
people
feel
don't. I don't
like-
think people want to put in the effort, the work.
No, and there's a lot of lack of commitment. People don't want to commit to somebody.
Yeah. In general.
Because that also means that you have to have more responsibility and take accountability for your actions.
Right.
If you just get to act like however you want and be free and do whatever and there's no consequences for it, then like, ooh, fun, like I just living life.
Yeah.
But like one of those days, it's like you're gonna have to.
It's really like life has gone too easy in a lot of ways.
Yeah, for sure. Cause
too much accessibility to things. Life's too good. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think there's.
Isn't that like the whole like?
Yeah, the arc, right? The
men create a good.
Yeah, strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create bad times. Bad times create strong men.
Yeah.
And then that whole cycle.
In the.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of like. I don't want to live 100 years ago. Okay.
Oh no.
So I'm not advocating for that. No. But what I will say is that there is. No. Okay, maybe I don't know. But I think there's it just doesn't. There's not as much need to.
Yeah, and I think
push
also,
or put forth effort unless you're put in those situations.
Yeah, and also I think like there's been a switch for sure because like I saw a video where someone was like nowadays. Now this is not everybody. This is not everybody. I'm not trying to call out people, but
sure.
They're saying
right.
Nowadays there's more like feminine men and like masculine women, and it's like kind of in a sense where it's like, oh, the men kind of want to be treated like the prize and the girls are like being hardworking because it's like the girl has to provide for herself.
Yeah, the gender role swap.
And so I think that's
because of the fluoride in the water.
Yeah, it's messing with the brain.
I'm just kidding. Trying to turn us gay. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
And I don't think this is everyone. I think there's a majority of people like this, but I think like you always hear all the time, it's like, and I don't have a problem with like whoever wants to make the first move, but like guys are like, oh, I love it when the girl makes the first move, like da 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 da. And I think it's better if you like both are just upfront about it, but like it's not, it doesn't, it's always, the girl always feels better when the guy goes and asks them out.
Sure.
Because it's like, oh, like a guy is interested in me, da 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 da.
But I've said this a few times, and what I think everybody needs to. It's kind of like having. It's like working from home or working for yourself. Unless you have the discipline to get yourself to go and do the task, like no one's going to hold you accountable.
No.
And we live in a day where it's really easy to not hold yourself accountable, to not do something hard, to get on my phone and have the groceries delivered, get on my phone and have food delivered, get on my phone and really watch a movie.
Like you're living life and doing things.
No hate on any of those services. Some of those services are banger and I'm all for it. But you need to find ways to push yourself to do hard things that are going to better your life that suck. They're things
have been a lot more automated.
Yeah, I think
so. It's like it's less work. Like,
and those things are awesome. I like those things.
Yeah. Like self-checkout. Like I don't really want to go through the cashier, but back then you'd have to go through the cashier. You have to talk to people on a daily basis. Like you have to put yourself out there and have a little bit more of manners and be like more sociable with people. Now you don't have to.
Totally.
And so it's definitely changed how things are. There's a lot less like dating, communication, and then but the thing is like of course everybody longs for socialization, so that's why
the weird part is that I think everybody we're built to have problems. Like we're built to problem solve.
Yes,
and, like,
and so if you don't have problems then you make your own problems.
Yeah, you make your own problems to solve.
Yeah.
And so, and I think in a way it's to avoid doing the hard stuff we don't want to do anymore.
Yeah.
Even though like doing it would be better for us.
Yeah. Or also like even when there's like a simple fix to something, they like complicate it. And you're just like, bro, why are you making it harder than it has to be?
Or do they just not know what to do?
I don't know. I don't really understand when people like complicate things.
Yeah, but I think we all do it.
Yeah, we all do it in our own ways. Just some people do it more than others.
Yeah. But I think that just stems from not knowing and not having any experience, right? Because arguably the problems of your life are going to get more challenging the older you get, I think, right? Because you don't have maybe you don't have a support system, maybe you don't have parents involved when you're older, maybe whatever it is, right?
When you get older, you're more on your own.
Yeah, well, and you just the problems are more real life.
Yeah.
Right? You're not paying a rent when you're 14, hopefully, or 12, right? But when you're 25,
that sucks, yeah.
And so if you haven't built a foundation, if you haven't done some hard things prior to that,
right?
That's the first experience. That's a hard time to learn how to do hard things is when you're 14, or when you're 24, 25, 30,
Right,
35, you know.
That's why there's like...
Unless you're gold
sometimes it
digger,
feels like-
unless you find a man with some, or woman, if you find a man or woman.
Finna do that.
I'm not against those cougar
I'm
hunting.
gonna marry some like old dude and then like wait him out until he's
It's like the Bill Belichick and his
the who?
Bill Belichick and his woman, Jordan. Do you not know who that is?
No.
Bro, wrong audience. Okay.
Sorry.
He was the coach for the Patriots, New England Patriots football team, NFL. Do you know them?
No,
Tom Brady. You ever heard of him?
No, I think I've actually heard that before. Yeah.
You ever heard of Tom Brady?
Oh, it's ringing a bell slightly.
Yeah. Welcome to the sports.
No, actually, wait. Where am I?
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. That's who it is. He's the coach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. He got a young woman.
Yeah.
A young lady.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That made me think about something else, but that's not really what it has to do with.
Okay.
I was thinking about like how, which also doesn't help with dating, but how a lot of girls, like, from like 19 to like what 25 or whatever, are doing like OnlyFans or whatever.
Mm.
So that also doesn't help dating.
Well, I mean, I think if anything, it emboldens men or women, whoever's doing the OnlyFans or the pornography or whatever.
Whatever they do.
I think it makes people just want to go get a quick fix to being lonely, right?
Yeah, and no commitment to it.
Yeah.
What you gotta do, hit subscribe, and you gotta do nothing.
Yeah. You got this hot chick that's messaging you, and you're paying to message her.
It's really just a dude messaging you. I hope you guys know. Like, I hope everyone knows it's literally just a dude.
Yeah.
He's
And-
getting paid, like, the girl's not talking to you.
And you're sitting in your parents' basement feeling all amazing and feeling like
hairline.
she's giving you attention, and in reality, she doesn't know who you are.
Freaking Saturn and...
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I don't know why. But once again, it's like that's not really going to better anybody. Not going to better them.
No, it comes back to, like, it's harder to go and create a relationship with somebody and work through the hard things. And it's easier just to hook up with them or just talk to them online or just go watch OnlyFans or whatever.
Yeah.
It's easier to do that.
Path of least resistance.
Yeah. Everyone's choosing the easier path because it's like, well, I don't really want to do that, so...
There's this quote I heard that was, there's no life without problems. The only difference is picking the problems you want to solve.
Yeah, there's always a path with problems. Like, nothing comes easy in life.
Yeah. Like, that's the point, right? Like,
you just gotta choose. You're like, well, I want this bad enough that I'm willing to go through the hard.
Right. Well, and eventually, I think you do stuff enough times, the problems, they don't necessarily get easier, but you get better equipped at solving them.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. Like, I think it comes with practice, just like anything.
Right.
You can't be a good problem solver when you've solved no problems.
Right. No, 100%.
So that's why it's important to not mow things over for people when they're young. Because if you always solve problems for somebody, then they're never going to know how to solve it for themselves. And then you'll always have to help somebody out.
Tough. It's tough out here.
Or be self-reliant. And then you're 27.
Okay, all right. Whoa. Okay. Hey.
Sorry.
Hold up. Well, don't be trauma flashbacking over here. Yeah, I know. No, you definitely got to put in the work early. But, Kel, it's been great having you on the podcast. We're going to keep it short today.
It doesn't die.
Yeah, hopefully not, but thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Next time. Probably behind the tech. You didn't make the cut this episode.
Next time. Who knows if this even gets put out?
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, bye.
All right, great.